He's a roller coaster right now. You know, still at the end of the day, it's still only.
Well, he should just burn his driver. I don't care. The golf course is long, I know, but he can hit 3-wood off the tee.
I would tend to agree with that. He should stop
just
trying
burn
to hit
it
right to left. He should stop trying to hit draw. You know,
well,
these draws he can't do it right now.
The right to left. You have to. He's never been a great driver of the golf game and killing people. He wasn't a great driver of the golf ball. What made him so unbeatable was it didn't matter where he hit it because he would get it up and down from anywhere.
Right.
And he's not as good now as he once was. And he's still good, but he's not as good as he once was. And when he gets into trouble, you know, that's where the bogeys come.
He had poop yesterday. There's no doubt about it. But he's shot the same thing the world #1 Dustin Johnson did, and he beat Justin Thomas by a shot. I mean, it just shows you, though, this is the kind of golf course it is. It really does put you to the test. I do think.
Well,
Dustin,
the other thing.
Go ahead.
The other thing it shows you, Eric. It's amazing. You watch my former employer, the Golf Channel. 47 people are going to win the tournament Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's sort of like watching Dick Vitale pick the NCAA tournament where 116 teams should get in.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be guys in that group of stars that don't have a good week.
Yeah, of course.
It always happens.
Of course.
Who are you following today?
I think I'm going to go out because he's playing fairly early and follow Rory for a while. I hope I can see it. You know, it's really hard here because we're not allowed inside the ropes. And so if you're following a big name, it's difficult to see. Now, I know my way around the golf course well enough that I can find spots where I can see from. I didn't watch Rory at all yesterday. I watched Willett most of the day. And so I think I might go watch Rory because he's off early and see if he can keep it going here.
Of the guys on sort of the outside looking in, because I actually think Jordan, if he puts together a 68 or 69, I think he could run away with this thing. He
did it. He did it 3 years ago.
Yeah. Looking in that Tiger, so I do think Dustin will make a move. I'd be shocked if he doesn't, and I think Justin Thomas will rebound.
Well, the other guy you got to keep an eye on is Bubba Watson.
Yeah.
And now he could go completely south, you know, because nobody goes brain dead faster than Bubba. But he also, is, you know, can play this golf course as well as anybody.
Can Freddie put together a better round? Like, you know, he was 1 under going into 18. I love that story. I said, John, I know you don't care. I'd do the show naked if Freddie Couples would win. That would be just be a dream
it's not that I don't care, Eric. It's that I would feel for everybody else there.
Yeah, of course. That would be my #1 choice, to see a 59-year-old guy, a guy that everyone adores, and Freddie Couples win that event.
Yeah, it would have been so nice if Tom Watson had pulled that off at the British 9 years ago. And how about Watson winning the par 3, by the way?
That was awesome.
How about that?
That
was so cool. And then Nicklaus's grandson making a hole-in-one. It was fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
And a friend of mine told me, because I wasn't out there at the end, because you can't get close to it. And but that Watson usually, he always signs autographs, but he usually just signs Tom Watson. And when he went over to sign for all the kids after he holed out on 9, he wrote, to John, old guys rule, Tom Watson, on each autograph, because he was pretty fired up about it. But, I mean, look, Freddie Couples can play his way around this golf course blindfolded. The problem he's had, if you look back over the last 10 years, he's been in one of the last groups on Saturday almost every year.
It's incredible.
The problem is he runs out of gas.
Yeah.
You know, he's just at 59 or 56 or 54, whatever. He just didn't have enough in the tank, especially with his back, to make it through 72 holes at that high level. But he can go out. He could go out today and shoot 68. That wouldn't stun me at all. I mean, I don't think it would stun anybody. By the way, did you guys notice how many bogeys there were on 18 among the leaders yesterday?
That was crazy. I know.
It was, except for Matt Kuchar, who made birdie.
Right.
Was that just nerves? Or just bad?
It's a hard hole. It's a hard hole. It's a hard hole. But I also think when you stand up on that 18th tee and you've got a good round going at Augusta National, it is really hard to just stay focused on getting that driver down that alley between those trees. And I remember here, what year was it? 2003 when Mike Weir won. What's his name? Had a one-shot lead standing on 18. He needed a par to shoot 64. I'm blocking on his name now. It's just making me crazy. And he said he stood up on the tee and he was saying, holy cow, if I par this hole, I'm going to win the Masters. And the next thing he knew, his driver was in the woods.
All right, give us your pick. Now we got one round in. Give us your pick. It's hard to pick against Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Jordan. I picked Charlie Hoffman before the tournament began, so I'm going to stick with. I think it's hard to pick against Jordan. Charlie Hoffman plays well on this golf course, and I hope Rory wins. How about that?
How about Cooch? You didn't mention Cooch. Aren't you a Cooch guy?
I'd love to see Kuchar win. There are a bunch of guys you'd love to see win, and Kuchar's a great guy, and he's never won a major, and lost to that unbelievable finish by Jordan at the British last year, and it'd be a terrific story if Matt won.
Len Matisse. I think Len Matisse is who you were thinking
Len
of.
Matisse, that's the guy. Len Matisse, and one of those guys who was left-handed, played right-handed, and that was his one great chance at glory. And in fact, when I did a book on that year in the majors because there were 4 first-time winners. Weir was a decent player. Jim Furyk was a good player, but then Ben Curtis and Sean McKeel came from nowhere to win the British and the PGA. So I did a book called Moment of Glory, and I also wanted to talk to all the runners-up, and this was 5 years after. Not because he's a bad guy; he's a good guy, but because it was still too painful.
Yeah.